Imagine for a second that you're drifting down this murky, incredibly slow-moving river. You're deep, I mean deep, inside the thick, green expanse of the tropical rainforest. The air's super heavy, the water's just totally dark with sediment. And then suddenly, bam! This bright pink creature bursts right through the surface, catches the dappled sunlight, and just slips quietly right back into the depths. Well, welcome to today's Explainer. What you just pictured in your head, it actually isn't a fantasy at all. It's the Amazon river dolphin, an absolutely highly evolved survivor of the flooded forests of South America. And we're going to unpack the whole shebang today.
Now, I gotta ask, have you ever seen a blushing dolphin? It sounds kind of like a trick question, doesn't it? I mean, when we think of dolphins, we usually picture those sleek, gray acrobats jumping around out in the open ocean. But the murky, twisting rivers of the Amazon hide a creature that honestly looks like it swam straight out of a mythological storybook. It is a literal biological masterpiece of freshwater survival, and its absolute most famous trait is something you'd really only expect to see in a Saturday morning cartoon. Okay, let's dive right into this. Section 1, Meet the Pink Dolphin, which is locally known as the Boto. To really understand the Boto, we kind of have to look past that whole fairy tale aesthetic and examine the incredible biology that actually makes them who they are. Because, their appearance isn't just for show. It's basically a living record of their lives in the jungle. Now, while they are known all over the world as the pink dolphin, get this, they don't emerge into the world looking like bubblegum. They are actually born completely gray. Yeah, if you were to see a newborn Boto navigating the river alongside its mom, you just see a sleek gray animal looking way more like its ocean-dwelling cousins. That famous vibrancy, it's something they actually acquire over time. So, what's the recipe for that pig vibrancy? It basically happens in 3 distinct stages. First off, Botos are just incredibly playful animals. But this constant physical roughhousing leaves a really subtle layer of scar tissue all over their bodies. Second, as they age, their skin naturally starts to thin out. And third, and this is key, they possess this vast, super dense network of blood vessels located directly underneath that thinning skin. So the combination of these 3 factors is exactly what creates that unmistakable, brilliant pink hue. And here is where it gets truly fascinating, which brings us right back to our initial question. Because of all those blood vessels sitting so close to the surface, when these dolphins get excited or really active, say during a rigorous hunt or an energetic play session, they actually flush a much brighter pink. Literally, blood rushes right to the surface to help regulate their internal temperature, which, as you can imagine, is a pretty vital cooling mechanism in that intensely hot and humid Amazonian environment. So yes, they absolutely behave exactly like a human blushing. It's just a brilliant physiological response to their surroundings. Moving on to Section 2, Engineered for the Jungle. And this brilliantly illustrates just how adaptable they are. I mean, trading the endless blue ocean for a crowded, totally unpredictable jungle requires some serious physical upgrades. The Amazon is nothing like the open sea, right? It's a dense, shifting environment, especially when those heavy rains come and the river just completely spills over its banks. Now, think about their famous saltwater cousins, like the bottlenose. They have stiff, fused neck vertebrae that are perfectly built for straight-line speed in open water. But the Amazon Boto, it evolved a totally unique skeletal structure. They have completely unfused, flexible neck vertebrae. This singular adaptation allows the Boto to literally turn its head a full 90 degrees in any direction. No other dolphin can do that. But hey, a flexible neck is really only part of the equation here. They also have these large paddle-like flippers that can move in independent circles. And because of that, the Boto can literally swim backward. Now, why does this matter? Well, every rainy season, the river basically reclaims the forest floor, flooding vast expanses of the jungle. The Boto uses this incredible maneuverability to gracefully weave its way through completely submerged tree trunks, navigate around thick, tangled roots, and untangle itself from dense vines. Try doing that with the stiff neck and rigid flippers of an ocean dolphin. No way. Which brings us to Section 3, Hunting in the Dark. Okay, so navigating the giant jungle gym of the flooded forest is one thing, but how in the world do you find your food when you can't even see right in front of your own face? The waters of the Amazon are just heavily choked with thick mud and sediment. Visibility is practically zero. So to survive, the Boto relies on a highly advanced echolocation system centered around something called a melon. It's a prominent, sort of bulbous forehead. But here's the cool part. This isn't just a static feature. The Boto actually manipulates the muscles around the melon to physically alter its shape. As they send out a series of clicks, the melon acts exactly like an adjustable biological flashlight, beaming sound waves through that murky water to read the returning echoes. So the crucial point is the result of this acoustic flashlight is just astonishing. 40 plus. Using only those returning echoes, the Boto can effortlessly track down over 40 different species of freshwater fish, crabs, and river turtles. They basically decipher the chaotic acoustic noise of the entire Amazon into a highly precise three-dimensional map of their next meal while swimming completely blind. It is a hunting superpower perfectly calibrated for an environment where, let's face it, eyesight is basically useless.
All right, let's look at Section 4, Folklore and Modern Threats. Now, as much as we can marvel at their biology, the story of the Boto is deeply, deeply intertwined with the humans who share their habitat. For centuries, the Boto was treated with an immense amount of mystical respect. Ancient legends literally claim they're shapeshifters that transform into handsome, well-dressed men at night to lure people away from the riverbanks. And you know what? Because of this really powerful folklore, locals held a deep reverence for the animal. I mean, no one wanted to cross a magical shapeshifter. So these myths historically served as a sort of cultural shield protecting the dolphins from harm. But unfortunately, that ancient reverence is now colliding with a pretty harsh modern reality. Human activity has introduced some severe, immediate threats to the Boto. Their murky river homes are increasingly tainted by chemical pollution. We're seeing a rise in illegal gold mining that's introducing dangerous neurotoxins directly into their food web. On top of that, massive hydroelectric dams are physically fragmenting the river, which cuts off ancient migration routes and actually divides mating populations. The very flooded forests they spent millennia perfectly adapting to navigate. Yeah, they're being fundamentally altered. The Amazon river dolphin is just a stunning testament to evolutionary adaptability. It's a species that perfectly engineered itself to trade the vast open ocean for a flexible, pink life among the dense rainforest trees. But their survival right now really depends on our awareness of these modern ecological pressures. So I'll leave you with this question. Would you travel deep into the Amazon hoping to see a blushing river icon out there in the wild? I really hope this explainer has given you a newfound appreciation for this total biological masterpiece, and maybe even a desire to see them protected. Thank you so much for learning with me today.